Guys, get ready with me for brunch while I talk about the most suspicious brand I've ever worked with. So this was actually a brand that I wanted to work with first. Like, I reached out to them because I saw that they do collaborations, so I reached out and I was like, hey, like, do you want to collab? And they responded and they were like, here's a discount code you can use for 10% off at checkout. And that was all they said. So I was like, okay, I wanted the product anyway, so I bought it and I never made a video about it or anything because I was like, okay, that's kind of annoying. After I'd already received the product, then they go, hey, we would like to collab. And I have all the receipts for this. I'm gonna block out the name, and some of y'all who have worked with this brand definitely know. Y'all could figure out what this brand is like immediately because they text different than any other brand I've ever talked to. But they said, hey, we'd like to collab, like we're coming out with activewear. Keep in mind, this isn't a fashion site. There's not much I can say, but they are known for one thing. Like, it is a brand with one product. Like, that's the only thing that they're known for. So they're coming out with a clothing line and another line of something that I can't give away, but has something to do with their brand, but it's just like kind of goes against what their whole brand is for. So it was like this weird thing, and they're like, hey, we're launching these two things, we would love to collab. And I was like, oh, okay, like sure. They're like, all right, sounds good, repost these two TikToks, and sent me two TikToks of influencers who they sent their products to. And I was like, that is so odd to ask me to repost something and I haven't even worked with you yet. So then they had me send my address through Instagram, and I was like, okay, whatever. I told them I wouldn't post it on Instagram because I don't really post this stuff on Instagram. They told me on Instagram that I would only be getting the product that they're known for that I already bought from them originally. So I was like, okay, because I bought the other product a while ago. They didn't ask to collab until more recently. I was like, okay, like a refill, that's fine, even though they did just tell me on TikTok that they wanted to collab about these two other completely different things. It came in the mail. I made my TikTok. It like went viral, like not viral, but it did really well compared to like any other collaborations I've done and stuff. So I was like, oh, awesome. I thought everything was over. I like disregarded all the stuff about the other stuff they said they would send me. I don't know. Then on TikTok, not on Instagram anymore, after I posted my video, they said, we need your sizes for the activewear. And then once again, they sent me a video to repost and said, before you do any of this, please repost this video, send proof that you did it. The weird thing was, the video they sent me to repost was my own video. They sent me my video saying, can you please repost this? That is so weird. And the way they text is like not that it has to be like formal and like put together, but it's like not proper English. I know they're not from America, but they speak English in the country that they're from. I'm gonna insert the screenshot from this one because I just thought this was insane. They were like, has your recent product come in yet? By the way, can you repost this video? The video of the products that had come in. And all of their replies were very inconsistent, and I never knew if it was gonna be through Instagram or for TikTok. Another really weird thing was, after I posted my video that did so well, they're like, we'd love to pay you for this. You reached 20K views, so we'll pay you. It was like $20 or something, which is like, okay, like I worked with them for free. I mean, any money is whatever, but like, okay. And so then they were like, please post again, because if you reach 20,000 views again, then we will send you more, and we will send you more money. But realistically, I wasn't probably gonna hit another 20K views for a video promoting their brand. I think I just got lucky. So I was like, okay, like I'll post another video, but like it won't get that many views. Like while this was all happening, they were like reposting my TikTok that did really well, turning it into a giveaway on their side, saying like, enter this video, like comment this, tag friends, do all this stuff, and you're entered for the giveaway. And I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. Like that's gonna bring in like a bunch of new comments and like engagement for me. It was like fine the first time until they did it about 5 more times within the next few weeks. It was like a fake giveaway. I don't know. I just kind of went dark after all of this with the brand because I just think this is all very unprofessional. Also, I have the DMs through TikTok that we ever had, but I went through Instagram and the ones on Instagram are all gone. I don't know how that worked. Then they started telling me to follow their other Instagram for their other line that they're coming out with. Keep in mind, like, it's the same category of stuff, but like, if you use the product that they're viral for, you wouldn't need the other products that they're starting to sell. So to be quite honest, I don't really trust the brand or the product. I never really knew if it worked because I never used it that much. So I stopped using it, and I stopped replying to people's like mean comments saying it doesn't work because like I can't even prove you wrong. But yeah, that was just the whole thing. We live and we learn. They haven't really reached out to me since then because they started telling me to like repost even more and I just wouldn't. And I know a lot of y'all are gonna know exactly the brand I'm talking about, and I want to hear y'all's stories because I know I'm not the only one. Okay, love y'all. Thanks for watching.
I really wish I could say that this story happened a long time ago because of how stupid I was. This literally happened a year and a half ago. So my family is not an iPhone family, but I love my Apple products, and so I'm in charge of buying myself my own iPhone. So a year and a half ago, I was looking for a newer iPhone because my parents wouldn't buy it for me, so I was shopping around for a newer one, as one does. Mind you, I'm like 15 and a half at this point. I'm broke. I have no money. So I'm looking for a really cheap option. And in lieu of my search, I stumble across a $180 brand new iPhone 16. Score! 15-year-old me was speechless. And I proceeded to go, oh my gosh, what a steal. And so I clicked on it. From that point on, I really don't know where my rationality went. So I went on there and I looked. In the description, it said, really wanted a brand new iPhone 16 for my birthday, and so I got myself one. But then my family and friends all pitched in and got me one. So I'm trying to bless somebody out of the goodness of my heart because I was blessed. If you're interested in this iPhone, text me at and please wish me a happy birthday. I was going to prove them wrong. I was going to get the iPhone for cheap. That's all I had to prove them wrong about, actually. So what do? I text him. With full and proper syntax, I text this man. But of course I started off by texting him happy birthday. I don't know why I was trying to make a personal connection with this random ass man that I found on Mercari. By the way, Mercari is like eBay on steroids. And then he was telling me about like shipping and everything. I was like, okay, great. I give him my address. And then like I stop and really think about my decisions for a second. I'm like, okay, I need to ask this guy like how do I know he's legit? So I texted him and I was like, hey, how do I know you're legit? And he got like so spiritual. He was like, even karma, I believe that the things that go around come around. What you put out into the world is gonna come back to you, and I just want the good for everybody. And I was like, I'm sold. This guy sounds great. So he sends me a picture that he's at the FedEx. I was like, holy shit, that was fast. Okay. And he's like, okay, here's how this is gonna work. I want you to Apple Pay me half of what this is gonna cost before you get it sent to you, and then when you get it, you can send me the rest of the money. I was like, oh, okay. I Apple paid him $90. Apple Pay does not give you refunds. I did not know that at the time, though. And then he started asking for more money. I don't really remember why he was asking me for more money, but I said no. But then he wouldn't stop asking, and then he said he was gonna refuse to ship it if I didn't send him the money. And then part of me remembered that when you take pictures on Apple, you can click that and you can see like the information about the photo. I clicked it and it said it was a screenshot taken in 2022. When these messages were happening, it was like November of 2023. I cannot tell you how far down my heart sunk when I saw that I had already Apple paid this guy 90 of my dollars. So I was sitting there staring at my phone, and what do? I confront the guy because, you know, like, he's a nice guy. He'll understand. He was like, bitch, what? Pardon me, what did you just call me? Okay, I said, this is a screenshot. You didn't actually take this. And he was like, yes, I did. Girl, no, you didn't. And he was like, yes, I did. Then I sent him a screenshot of it, of how it said it was a screenshot and everything. And then he sent me a screenshot back showing the information on his side. He had edited it to the very day and time that we were messaging. And not only that, but it said the word edited right next to it. So I'm pissed off, and I like start telling him off. I'm like, girl, you edited it. The word's right there. He was like, are you stupid? No, I didn't. And I was like, so the word edited is right there. And he was like, no, it's not. This was gaslighting at its finest. So I'm like sitting there and I don't really know what to do. So then what do? I pulled up his name on government files to see if he really was who he said he was. How did I have the government files, may you ask? My dad worked for the government at this time. When I finally get the profile on who he is, this was a man named Ayush? I don't really know how to say it. Then some really weird last name that started with a B. And it said that he lived in California, and I had his address and everything. So I was like, okay, Ayush, wanna go? I'll call the cops on you. And he was like, bitch, no you won't. And I was like, yes I will, because I know who you are and I know where you live. And he was like, okay, well, I've killed cops before. I'm was like, bitch, I'm not afraid of you. Because they would have found you by now. He's like, no, I did it in secret. Why were the cops called on you in the first place? Like, what mischievous things are you doing right after you told me that you believe so much in karma? I'm about to break out into tears because I'm like, I just lost so much money and this guy's pissing me off. And he still wants more money. I start saying no, and then he starts sending me pictures of guns. And he's like, I'll use these on you and your family. What? Okay, I'm not afraid of you because you live in California. And then he says, well, I know where you live, remember? Oh my god. I forgot that he had my address. He could do anything. And then he's like making all these threats that he's gonna kill me and stuff. Cause they won't give him the stupid money! And then to make it worse, he sent me a video of a really skinny guy. And the skinny guy was cornered. And really bad things happened to the skinny guy with the guns. I start bawling my eyes out. This random guy named Ayush is now gonna come kill me and my family. Well, that sucks. So, it was really humbling, but I did end up going down the stairs and out to the hot tub, and I showed my dad these messages. I am distraught. Oh, I am distraught. Dude, I was losing my marbles because to the best of my knowledge, my whole family was gonna die all because I tried to buy a stupid fucking iPhone 16 for $180. So I show my dad this. It kind of takes me a minute to tell him and explain to him what the situation of the story was. He was like, so Allie, what were you thinking? I don't know what I was thinking, I just wanted an iPhone. My dad just hugs me and he takes my phone from me. Comes back and he's like, don't worry, I told the guy off. Okay, well, how do I know that we're not gonna get shot up? My dad was like, Allie, this is some random man, probably living in poverty, who was just trying to make a buck out of you. So that made me feel way better because I was like, okay. But the moral of the story is, most of the time, if something is too good to be true, it's gonna be a scam. That goes for every single aspect in life, bro. Men, products, jewelry, etc. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Love you lots.
Hey guys, get ready with me as I tell you guys my business as a 16-year-old pregnant teen, 33 weeks and 4 days. I'm so ready to pop, as you guys can see. From the last time that you guys have seen me, honestly, nothing much has changed. The only thing was that the baby's dad did text me wanting to go see the baby in 3D. Honestly, there's no way in hell that I am gonna be going with that man or that little boy, just because that's the only effort he's put in. I did end up sending him the ultrasound photo, and he didn't really say anything about it. He had just told me that if I wanted him to make an appointment so we could go see the baby. Honestly, guys, believe it or not, but his dad never answered my text back. I believe that no answer is an answer as well. So I'm not gonna be asking people to want to be there when they clearly don't want to. I totally respect whatever his thought process is, but I tried, and at least I can say I tried. Honestly, guys, I did end up inviting his aunt from his dad's side, but I mean, it's because I knew her like since a while back, so I just felt wrong not inviting them. I mean, if the dad doesn't want to come, that's totally fine. I didn't know if he had told the rest of his family or not, but I took matters into my own hands and I invited them either way because my problems with the baby's dad is not their problems. Since me giving birth is right around the corner, I do need to start thinking about like my birth plan and how I want to do this. Like if I want the baby's father to be there while I'm delivering the baby, because honestly the last time that we had talked, he did tell me he wanted to be there. Will I let him be there? I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, I just feel like my baby is a privilege. If you do not meet standards, if you do not do certain things, if you do not benefit me, how are you gonna benefit my child? What ways exactly? Like, I need to see it, I just don't need to hear it. Actions speak louder than words, and if you already disrespected me once again, I'm not gonna let you slide. So yeah, honestly, I love putting my business out on the internet just because I'm not embarrassed to be real and tell you guys what I've been through. This is my life, I lived it, and I'm not embarrassed to tell you guys my story or how my journey is going. I of course used to think that social media was all real and that's really how people live. People had amazing lives. I'm not saying people don't have amazing lives, because of course if you see all these YouTubers and you see all these influencers, like, they're living their best life, but we have to be true to ourselves. Some of us are not in the right mindset to accept how we're living right now. Yeah, my situation is bad, but I'm making the most out of it. I'm not letting this tear me down. I know a lot of people have probably been in my shoes and it's gotten to them, and I thank God every freaking day that this didn't break me. Honestly, I just wanted to come out here and put my story out there, put my journey, or give you guys story times, just because it's stuff that I'm going through. I honestly didn't know how many people would tell me they can relate, but hey, we all don't know what people go through behind the cameras or behind the phone. I do want to say that obviously I tell you guys what I want to tell you guys. I don't tell you guys everything. I don't even tell you guys everything in detail. Everything that I talk about, there's more to the story, of course. Obviously, like I mentioned in my last post, I was embarrassed to have a baby shower just because I turned out pregnant. I wasn't ashamed of my baby, but I was just embarrassed the person that I came out pregnant with. And I honestly feel like it was just because of the situation we were in. So yeah. And honestly, coming into the TikTok storytime eras, I didn't expect people to give me as much support as they did. I knew people were gonna find me. I just didn't expect like so many people to relate and to give me the support that they do. So I'm really appreciative of that. But like the haters, I knew I was gonna get haters. I knew if I would have not decided to keep my baby, I was gonna have haters. I knew that if I posted my baby's announcement or not, I was gonna have haters. Like I just knew everything. I knew whether if I stayed with the baby's dad or if I left the baby's dad, I was literally gonna get talked down on. So I can't really care less about that type of stuff. I also don't really care because I truly do believe that we're in God's hands. We're on God's timing. God has a plan for me. God has a plan for my baby. So I'm totally okay with it. I've accepted it, and I've truly realized that I'm gonna be able to get through this. And I do believe that 100%. That's why I am not very stuck up on comments. I'm not stuck up on like hate that I get. I'm not stuck up on people's thoughts or too much on their opinion. I mean, it happened. What are you gonna do? You can tell me or move on. It's not like I'm asking you to come and take care of my baby for me. Honestly, the only people I will hear out that have something to say is if you're the most perfect person ever. Okay, maybe you got it all figured out, you make no errors, you make no mistakes, you don't none of this. I will listen to you, and I will probably feel a little bit bad, but that's only if you're really doing good and you're not faking it. I've known so many people, they fake it, and it's just like, baby, you're not perfect yourself, why are you coming for me? I'm all done with my makeup now, so I'm done with the yap session. If you guys like this video, comment down what type of videos you guys would like to see. Comment if you have any questions, concerns, advice, anything. And don't tell me nothing because I don't want to hear it. Go tell your fucking mom. Go do something about it. Go fucking buy off my registry or something if you really have a problem. But bye guys.
Okay, I have been broken up with in some of the most craziest ways. Absolutely heartbroken, but they make for really good breakup stories. So get ready with me while I tell you some of my craziest breakup stories. My first boyfriend I ever dated for real was my freshman and sophomore year of high school. We dated for almost 2 years. It was a good first relationship. It was just like kind of messy. We argued quite a bit, and like towards the end of the relationship, coming up on 2 years, things were just not working out. But I was honestly kind of blindsided to this whole thing because like you're young and in love, like you don't exactly see breakups always coming. Regardless, my parents had bought this guy tickets to go see this like IndyCar race that Friday we got out of school, so it was right before summer. We bought him these like expensive tickets because once again, it's boyfriend of 2 years. And like the day before, his mom texts my mom and is like, yeah, so-and-so can't go anymore. Probably the most bullshit excuse I've ever heard. I don't even remember. Regardless, I was mad because A, he didn't even tell me, and B, we had spent all this money on these tickets, and like literally the night before, you're gonna tell me that you can't go. Whatever, life goes on. The whole day he's acting kind of weird and just won't talk to me. And then he tells me that he needs to pick up his sweatshirts because I guess they're his brother's and he wants them back. So I was like, all right, I'll get these sweatshirts, bring them out to you when I get home from this IndyCar race that you were supposed to be at with me. So you're gonna have to wait till late. So I get home, I get the sweatshirts together for him. He texts me that he's here, all that shit. So I come outside with the sweatshirts. I have somewhat of a suspicion that something's going down just because all of this weirdness that he's been acting. But I get out there, and mind you, he has his license. We're going into the summer before our junior year. He has his license. I pull up, and his mom and brothers have taken him to break up with me. I was actually in distraught because this is supposed to be like a personal conversation, and your brothers and mom are in the car. I don't know. It just was like, really? And when I tell people that story, they're always like, what? So yeah, didn't really appreciate that. But it's all right. We moved on. Next boyfriend. My next boyfriend, I have no disrespect towards him. We're on good terms. The other boyfriend, I don't care about. Like, we're not on good terms. But this boyfriend, we're actually on good terms. So I have no disrespect. And he's apologized for the situation. We've moved on. But basically, I was dating a guy who was a year older than me. He was a senior. We had dated all of his senior year and my junior year. Around this time, March, our relationship kind of gets a little bumpy. It's not going the best. So he decides to go on senior spring break with his friends, which, whatever, that's fine. Many of them already had girlfriends, yada yada. There's actually a lot to the story, so I'm gonna like pause the story there and then make another video tomorrow. So, because there's a lot to that story that I don't want to leave any details out because this video is getting insanely long. So yeah, come back for a part 2 because talking about breakups and crazy breakup stories is fun. And the next one is even better in my opinion than the first.
Get ready with me while I tell you how my ex-boyfriend is still obsessed with me 4 years later. Little backstory, I dated this guy 4 years ago for about 9 months and he cheated on me for our entire relationship. So this whole story is a little ironic. So I have a boyfriend currently. We've been dating for about 4 months. And last night when I get back from his house, I get a random phone call. I answer the phone and it's someone and they're like, hello, who is this? I'm like, who is this? And they're like, why do I have your number? And I'm like, I have no idea. Who is this? And I tell them, like, this is Tatum. As soon as I tell them my name, they hang up on me. Then, like 5 minutes later, I get a call. And I answer, and it's a girl. And she tells me her name is Taylor and that her and my boyfriend have been hanging out for the last 6 months. She tells me she's been talking to him for 6 months and that they just hung out like 2 weeks ago. I thank her for telling me, and then I ask her, I'm like, can you just send me like proof so then I can like confront him about this? She doesn't send the proof right away, but I'm sure, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, she's just figuring out how to go about this situation just like I am. At this point, I've told 2 of my really good friends like what was happening, but then I also mentioned to one of them how this girl had not sent me any like evidence yet. I'm waiting and waiting on this girl. Finally, I decide like I need to call her because like I need to talk to my boyfriend about this like immediately. So I end up calling her. It goes straight to voicemail and it's literally something from SpongeBob. It's like something about the fucking Krusty Krab. I tell my friend about this and she's like, you know what, give me her number, like I'll call her and like see what's up. Basically, my friend's conversation with her was like, hey, like you told my friend her boyfriend cheated on her, can you just like send some proof to me or to her or to literally anybody? And she tells her like, yes, I'll do it right now. So at this point, we're both waiting on her to send us proof and she never does. At this point, I tell my boyfriend what's going on and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, can't believe you've done this, and it's just a whole mess. After my friend gets off the phone with Taylor, she gets a call from a different number. When she tries to call them back, they don't answer, and that was a little suspicious just with everything going on. So again, I'm still freaking out because I have no evidence. My boyfriend's freaking out because he literally has no idea really what's going on. Thank God for my friend because she says, she's like, let me take these phone numbers and run them through a website so then I can see like who these phones are registered to. So the initial phone that was supposed to be Taylor, that initial phone number comes back as not Taylor. It comes back as a name. We're going to call her Audrey. Then she runs a second phone number through. The name that comes back is the name of my ex-boyfriend's mom. Obviously, my ex-boyfriend's mom is not trying to get me and my current boyfriend to break up. But I know this guy definitely does not pay for his own phone. So I knew for a fact that it was him. To make sure that I knew it was actually him, I sent the number to one of my best friends who is also cousins with him. And I just say, is this, we'll call him Brogan, is this Brogan's number? And she's like, oh my God, that's his number. Keep in mind, this is all going on between the hours of 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. I got literally no sleep. So my friend confronts my ex. He denies it, obviously, but apparently he got really defensive at one point. My God-sent boyfriend comes over at 2 a.m. so we can talk about everything. As I'm telling him this whole story, the whole rundown, he's like, wait, did you say Brogan? Keep in mind, he does not know, like, he didn't know who this was prior. He then pulls up a notification that he got on his phone from like a couple hours ago that Brogan had liked his Instagram. So yeah, my crazy ass ex-boyfriend decided it was a good idea to have this random girl call me and tell me my boyfriend was cheating on me. Also, just a little tidbit, this guy has a child. He is a father. And yeah, that's how my ex-boyfriend is still obsessed with me 4 years later. And now I'm going to go to a concert with my not cheating boyfriend.
Hi guys, get ready with me to go out. Okay, hi guys, so I'm gonna be telling y'all a story time about this girl I used to be friends with freshman year. So basically our friendship started off of this guy that she thought I was talking to on the first day of school because he asked for my Instagram, and that was her guy best friend, and she thought I was talking to him. I don't know how, and I told her like, no, like this is our first day of school, like what are you talking about? And then she was like, oh, okay. And then after that, she started being nice, we started becoming friends, whatever. But I started noticing really weird things about her when it came to guys, like mostly when it came to guys. She seeked like a lot of validation from guys, and like all her friends were guys. Like there were girls that liked her and stuff, but like all her friends were guys. So like, and all of them liked her. Like she knew that, but she just wouldn't admit to it. Like I would tell her like, oh, like he definitely likes you. She'll be like, no, he's just my friend. Like, bro, I know everybody has that type of like girl at their school or friend or something like that. But yeah, it would just be so weird. I would be like, okay. And then also when it came to guys, again, like I would tell her about a guy. I would be like, oh, like he's cute, right? And she would be like, oh yeah, he replies to my story. Oh, he snaps me. Oh, he's like, I talked to him before. Like any of that, like basically saying that she's had some type of like interaction, like anything with the guy I'm telling her about. Like it could be any guy, like he could live in a whole nother country, and she would say like, oh, like he's talked to me before, he's tried to talk to me before. And I don't know why she would do that, because like honestly I don't care. Like I didn't care, and I didn't believe her half of the time, because there's just no way in the world you just like talk to every single guy I call cute, and then I ask them and they don't even know your name. So like it's not making sense. So she would say those type of stuff to, I don't know, like make me feel bad about myself or something. I don't know. Like I wasn't gonna think you look better than me or anything like that, because just no, like I'm not gonna argue with my friend over a guy. Like I don't care enough about a guy. Like I never said anything about that, because like I said, I'm not gonna argue over a guy. Like it's just so dumb. So the stuff kept going. Like then it got to a point where she was like very comfortable with me. Well, she was very comfortable with me since we started being friends. Like ever since we started being friends, she was never not comfortable with me. Like she got comfortable with me real quick. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like I'm not used to that, because like I don't know, I'm just like a shy person when you first meet me. Like I'm not gonna be comfortable with you. And like the way she was too was like concerning, at least to me. Like she would like touch me like this, like she would touch my body, because like when we be in the mirror, she'd be like, oh, you're so T, like your body's perfect. She'll be like, I want your body and stuff like that. Like I wish I looked like you. She would say those type of stuff. And like, okay, like you can say that to like a friend, or be like, oh, I wish I looked like you, like, but in hopes that you're not being like for real, like, because you shouldn't wish to look like nobody. You should love yourself just as you are. Like, and she wasn't ugly. Like she's not the best looking, but she wasn't fat either, and she would call herself fat. Like she never ate in front of me. Like I would DoorDash food, like I would get food from the cafeteria. She never ate in front of me. I think there was once or twice that I saw her eat, and it wasn't at school. So I was just like concerned. And then she's tried to do stuff like before, like to herself at school and like in general. So like I was like, I have to be here for her, because like what if she does something, like at least I must say that I was there for her. Like I tried. So like I never stopped talking to her. I never left her by herself. Like I never was a bad friend to her. Every time, like, and there was days where she would like ghost us, because it was like there was other girls that like were friends with her, and she would ghost everyone. Like she would not talk to anybody at school. Like we would text her, and I was the only one that talked to her at school. Like I would beg her, like, hey, like, are you okay? Like I kind of chased her, not beg her, but I like chased her around school, like, are you okay? Like what's wrong? Like, because I was scared that she would do something, like I don't know. And then the next day, or when we got home, she'd be like, I'm sorry, like today I was like in a bad mood, I'm sorry for ignoring you, you're such a good friend, like blah blah blah. I'd be like, it's okay, because like I mean, as long as she doesn't do anything, right? So yeah, it was just weird stuff like that. And then I was talking to this guy freshman year, like when it first started, like freshman year, and I had told her like that me and this guy were like about to get in a relationship, and I told her about it, like, because we had 2 classes together. And then the next period, she's like, oh, look who followed me. And it's literally the guy I just told her about. And there was just no way that they knew each other. There was just no way at all, because they just didn't. Like, I knew they didn't. And I still, to this day, they didn't. Like, she is weird. And so what I think she did is that she followed him, unfollowed him. So she showed me, like, oh, like, he followed me. Because obviously, if you unfollow somebody, it's going to say that they followed you first. So she's like, okay. And I asked about it, like, whatever. I never found out what the truth was. Like I said, I'm not gonna argue with my friend over a guy. Like, just no, I didn't care, so I just stopped talking to him. Like, I'm not doing the weird stuff. So okay, we started being friends with these other girls, like all of us. She was already friends with them, but I got closer to them. So
she started acting the same way that she acts with me. But like she would tell the girls like, oh, that's my best friend, like she's my best friend, like I don't want you talking to her. And at first me and one of those girls weren't friends because she would tell both of us like, oh, she's talking shit about you, like, oh no, like she's talking shit, like basically saying that we're talking shit about each other. So like obviously like we're not gonna be friends with somebody who talks shit about us. So then when we started getting closer, like we told each other, oh, like I heard like, oh, like you talk shit. And then she was like, no, I never. And then I was like, I never talked shit about you, like I didn't even know you, like why would I say something about you? She was like, oh, okay, really? And then we started getting closer. We never said anything to her because like I said, like I don't know, she was like, we just didn't want to make her feel bad. So okay, so then like I said, she started acting like that, the way she acts with me to them. And then okay, sorry, as I was saying, so yeah, so she started acting like that, and like the other girls like would just not have it. Like they were not doing, like they were not gonna chase her around like I was, like because they've been friends with her before, like I said, so they already knew her, like they already knew how she was. Like a lot of people warned me about her, like even teachers, like they were like she's like that, like be careful, like. And honestly, I didn't listen because I like to find out for myself, like I really do. Like this not even like trying to be funny, like I really do. This comes for everyone, like I like to find out for myself, like even when somebody warns me about a boy, like I just always like to find out for myself. Okay, so yeah, and like then she texted me one day. She was like, oh, like I like you better than them, like basically saying like she likes me better than them. And like she was like, oh, like I tell you more stuff. And I was like, oh, like I asked the girls, like, is it true, like does she like actually like treat y'all differently? They're like, no, like she tells you the same, like she tells both of us, like all of us, the same stuff. And then so the girls got mad because she was kind of talking shit about them, so they clocked her. Well, one of them had already clocked her, and she clocked her again. So to this day, that girl does not even lick that girl in the face. Like she hates her so much because of that, because she told her the truth about herself, like, and she doesn't like hearing that. Because I never did that. Like I said, I don't like arguing in general, like no. So to this day, like she calls that girl the devil and stuff. Like she does not like that girl because she clocked her like literally all the way. So yeah, so then this was first semester. We came back, our schedule changed, but we still had class together. So that guy, she had asked me, the guy that she followed, whatever, she was like, oh, like what are y'all now, like what's going on? She was like, oh yeah, because I was like, oh, nothing, like I don't even talk to him anymore, like I stopped talking to him once you told me that. And then she was like, oh yeah, because he tried to go on a 2-man with me and my friend, and I said no out of respect for you. And I was like, yeah, okay. Find out later she was giving him head. So anyways, like I didn't tell her anything because once again, bro, I don't care that much about guys, like I don't. So I was like, okay. And then we started being friends again, and then I started talking to another guy, and she did the same thing, like, but it was actually worse this time because they would both say like, oh, like she's flirting with me, no, he's flirting with me, like, and it was just so annoying because I was like, girl, like why are you trying to take my man every single time? Like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like what do you get out of that? You're my friend, what do you get? I'm gonna need a part 2 of this, guys. So
I was a bit of a wild child in my 20s, and it's time to share some of my favorite stories. And Mom, if you're watching this, please don't watch it all the way through. So when I was newly 21, it was after I graduated college. I'm from California, so I went to San Diego State. And my friend at the time went to San Luis Obispo. So we had both kind of like stayed in the area after school. We wanted to go to Vegas for our very first experience as a 21-year-old. So we plan it for New Year's. We get all our silly little club dresses. There's 4 girls. One of the girls' moms has like points at the Venetian, so we're staying at the Venetian. And when you're newly 21, the word promoter becomes part of your vocabulary. These promoters are like passed down in time between so many different people. And like these promoters are also like, this is a career. Like they start at, I don't know, 21 and they're still there today. And so we have this like weekend planned out, and we find this promoter. My friend from high school finds him. We're deciding what we're going to do. Obviously, we want to go to the clubs. We want to like have fun, do that, whatever. Okay, so the first night we are going to Jewel. And Jewel was in the Aria. Aria was like a newer hotel at the time. And this promoter manager told us to meet him at like, I don't know. They tell you to meet them so early. Maybe like 10. And like the club isn't even starting until midnight maybe. So we get there and it's like the guy below him. We are waiting to go into the club. And he tells us get like a drink at this like lobby champagne bar, whatever. I don't know what it's called. It's definitely still there. So we're drinking champagne there. We feel so cool, whatever. While we're there, like, the manager comes by and he, like, introduces himself to us and then takes, like, a really good look at us. And mind you, we were 4 girls and, like, calls somebody. And so somebody else comes by and, like, meets us. And it's, like, some other head person. So the decision is made. We're going to go to Jewel for the club. And for some reason, they're talking in the background about, like, us going in. So we go into the club and we think we're going to go to like, I don't know, a normal table. Mind you, none of us have been in a Vegas club yet. And they take us all the way to the front table next to the DJ, like the owner's table. And they're like, this is where you girls will be. And we're like, oh, okay, great. So we're at this table, the owner's table. And we're here partying, having so much fun. And all of a sudden this like old man shows up, and I think a couple of friends. I don't even know who the DJ was at the time. So this old man shows up. We're like, okay, cool. My friend and I love like any type of people just like plotting, scheming, pranking people. So like the vibes were good. The 2 girls that like I wasn't as close with, that they were my friends, one of them drinks too much, gets so sick, literally projectile vomits all over the booth of the table. And we thought, oh, for sure, like, that's it. Like, there's no way we're making it back from this. You should have seen how quickly they cleaned it up. Like, I've never seen anything like it. The way that they cleaned it up was maybe it took 2 minutes. And so our friend didn't feel well, of course. So she decided to, like, go home back to the Venetian. And one of the other girls went with her. Mind you, my friend from high school and I stayed. And we're just hanging with this old man, whatever, and his friends. And like anything in Vegas goes, right? Age isn't really a thing there. So if you are up until 4 a.m., you were up until 4 a.m. So I think we leave the club, like we pretty much shut it down. And as we're leaving, like we're heels off, we're deciding what to do. Like we probably should head home. So we like let him know like, hey, we should head home. And he's like, oh no, like I own the hotel. Why don't you guys just sleep here? I'll just give you a room here. And we're like, what do you mean? So all of a sudden he makes a call, and this guy comes from God knows where, who's like head of all hospitality, and he's like, give them a penthouse suite. And so the guy looks at us, he's like, IDs, can I have a card for deposit? And the owner looks at him and he goes, no IDs, no card for deposit. Like the room is completely on my tab. They don't need anything. And this guy comes back, I don't know, 15 minutes later with room keys, ready to go. The owner wishes us goodnight, and we like go up to this room. This room was incredible. It had a dining room, a living room, bedroom. I had the most insane view. And again, our card wasn't on it. So we put the bathrobes on, we're playing music, we ordered so much room service. My friend takes like all the little alcohol bottles out of the mini fridge to like bring her dad home as a gift. And we like spend the night there. We let our friends know, but they were so confused. When they woke up in the morning, they're like, where are you? Where could you be? Like the room's here. And we explained to them that we were given a room for the weekend, whatever. And so we decide we're going to stay in this room. Like it's gorgeous. So we go back to the Venetian. We end up meeting up with them. They're like doing okay, not the best, a little bit rough. And we're telling them about the night, and they like can't believe it. And like I've heard of free hotel rooms in Vegas, but I've never heard of it like this. And I think we called him Bobby. We had like a nickname for him. We never expected to meet like the owner of the Aria that could give us this access to give us this room, whatever. So we had the suite for the rest of the time. So that was like already starting off on a high. The next night we had planned to go to Omnia. And we're getting ready to go to Omnia. It's the same promoter group, I believe. And we just had to meet like the right manager for Omnia. At Omnia, we're not at like the owner's table or anything. We get put at the girls' table. And the way that it works when you get put at a girls' table at Omnia is they put girls in tables until they sell them. So Omnia is maybe my least favorite for this because you're always on the move. Like the moment the table is sold, you go with the promoter and you go to the next table. We, in this process, you know, you're there at Omnia for a while. I think it was like Zed playing maybe. We kind of like are chatting with the table next to us, and it's like a group of guys. It's always a bachelor party, and they're like, come on over, come hang with us. So we decide we're gonna leave like the girl table and go hang with them, which is honestly the most ideal setup. Also, when you're at these tables, they ask you exactly what you want to drink, so if the bottle's not on the table, odds are they order it, which is awesome. So here we are again in our little club dresses. It's me and my high school friend again at this point. And I turn around, it's New Year's Eve night. I turn around and at the table behind me, who is it? Literally Mark Cuban. And I'm like, oh my God, no way. I have to say something. At the time, I was like really obsessed with Shark Tank. So I like lean over the booth, chat with him. I literally took pictures with him. I can insert that if anybody wants to see that. And we're like partying, and it's like our table, Mark's table, just like great vibes. And I feel like no one again would believe me had I not taken these pictures, but I look like a baby. That night was so fun. We go back to our suite at the Aria. We're still in good graces with Bobby. We didn't end up seeing him the rest of the trip, and Sunday we drive home. But of course we had to keep that connection. So this connection with Bobby literally lasts, I would say, like 5 years. Because we understood that we could get free rooms with Bobby. And when we go home and we tell all the other girls, they're like, I want to go. So that was the first of many Vegas trips. So that like opened my eyes to an entire new world. And so I would say we had like a little bit of money when we went on that first Vegas trip, but we used to go to Vegas completely for free from that point on. And that was my first experience in Vegas that started the monster that was my 20s. Okay, so if you know me, you know that I lived in Europe for 2 years after college, and I want to talk about how that happened because now that I look back on it, that was the best decision of my life. But I basically lived in Europe for almost 2 years working for this travel company, and it's kind of a crazy story. I thought I was going to go to med school after college. I decided I didn't like blood. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was panicking. And when I had studied abroad in Barcelona, and if you've studied abroad in Barcelona, it is literally the craziest, most party experience ever. And when I had studied abroad there was a trip to the Amalfi Coast. And when you study abroad in Europe, you just have to visit the Amalfi Coast. And so I go on this trip with the travel company to the Amalfi Coast. The company is called Bus to Alps. And I go on this trip. This trip is led by Americans. It's like, I don't even know how many tour guides and like 400 students. And I remember that I saw a guide and I was like, oh my God, that's the hottest guide ever. And it's American students who are like staying in these hostels with you and basically guiding you around Europe and like taking you all around the Amalfi Coast. So when I studied abroad, I went on that trip. And I remember thinking the guide was so cute that I followed him on Instagram. Fast forward, I am graduating from college, don't know what I'm going to do, and I see that there's an internship for the travel company I went on the trip with before. So I see that there's an internship, it's a 3-month internship in Italy for the travel company I had gone on the trip with before, and that they were looking for new guides for the summer. And I was like so lost at the time at what I was doing. I was living in San Diego. I was like, just had finished college, was the manager of a Better Buzz coffee shop, was living in this huge, it was kind of like, it was definitely a college house. Like I literally had a millipede in my room at one time. There was like 8 of us living in this big house on the edge of La Jolla. But I was living in this house and I was like, oh my God, I want to do this internship. So I applied for the internship. All you have to do is like make a fun video about yourself and like upload it on YouTube. And then you speak to the manager there and kind of like talk about yourself and why you want to do it. And so I remember I was dog sitting a lot at the time. I made my like little intro video and I was like playing soccer with the dogs. I was saying how much fun I had on the trip that I had gone to when I studied abroad. And I was just looking for a new opportunity to like go back to Europe. Fast forward, this setting spray always makes me sneeze without fail. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but the one size. Okay. So fast forward, I get chosen to go to Europe on this internship. And all you need is like, you're going to be there 90 days. So you have the travel visa with you, like as a tourist in Italy. And you're going to be there 90 days. Basically, I didn't know anybody going. I was going to live in Florence, Italy, which I had visited once, but I didn't, that's not where I studied abroad. And I was going to live in this apartment with all of these other Americans and essentially like sell trips and go on these trips in Europe. So I get there and I remember I'm so tired. My brother comes with me to drop me off. He had done an internship at the Four Seasons for like a culinary arts program. And he was familiar with Florence and kind of the outskirts, but he had all these restaurants that he wanted to try when he studied abroad that he didn't. So we had a list of things to do. My brother and I have like an itinerary of stuff to do, and then he drops me off, and basically we were staying in a hostel for our orientation, and then we would meet the rest of the Americans who were going to be tour guides, and we would also find out where we were placed. You could be placed in Rome or Florence, and then actually you could also be a fly-in guide in Barcelona, which did happen later on for me. But whatever. So I remember I'm so tired. I'm like so jet lagged. I'm laying in the hostel room and this like ray of sunshine walks in. And it is this beautiful southern Texas cowgirl. And her name's Catherine. She ends up being literally my best friend. We're still friends to this day on this whole trip. And she sits on her bed, and at first I told her, I was like, I'm so tired, I can't talk right now. And then I couldn't stop talking to her. From that day, we've been inseparable. We go through the orientation. There's 40 different guides, and we get split up between Florence and Rome. Both her and I are placed in Florence. And we actually live in a hotel, or we live in an apartment that has bunk beds. And I remember my apartment was like the 6th floor walk up, obviously living in Italy, so it was beautiful. And we were living in Europe, and I was the top bunk, and I had my friend Adri below me. Adri was a senior guide at the time. There were like already existing guides who kind of like taught you the ropes of what the heck you were doing. And you were responsible for essentially doing like the operations, first meeting students out and like getting them to want to go on the trip. So meeting them at bars in the street, like whatever, and using your discount code to get them to book the trip. And then you would plan the trip. So you would do all the housing, all of the allocations to each hotel. And it was called Bus to Alps for a reason. You would take a bus to wherever you were going. And to give you an idea, some of the trips were Croatia. There was like a 5-country spring and fall break trip, the Amalfi Coast. There was a fly-in trip for Barcelona. There was Budapest, Prague, and oh gosh, I can't even remember. But you went by bus. So the trips were cheap, but you were going by bus. So it was, you had to sell the journey too, about how much more affordable it was, and that it included all of these excursions and you could do all of these things on the trip. So 3 months turned into 2 years. Basically, I went to the Amalfi Coast, I think 35 times in my time there. And so I knew it like the back of my hand. We would stay in Sorrento. We would go to Capri. We would go to Positano. And we'd have like literally 500 students with us. So like we were a herd. And we would do this every weekend. We didn't get paid anything at all, aside from if somebody used your discount code. And then we lived in these jam-packed apartments. I remember that I lived in my original apartment for those 3 months. And then I moved into an apartment that had 12 girls in bunk beds. And that's where I lived for a year and a half. And we would literally go out every day trying to find American students, going to the bars, hosting dinners, hosting events. And then we'd be planning the trips and going on the trips on the weekend. I look back on this time so fondly, but I think some of the rules that were like kind of funny that I remember is there was something called guide goggles. Like, basically, if you were a guide to students, you were the hottest, best version of yourself. They were always in love with you, especially if you were a guy. Like, guys would come and they would essentially have a glow up, like working for this company, and get like whatever girl they could want. You were not allowed to hook up with students on the trips. I'm not sure if people did. I didn't. I can't speak for the rest of my coworkers. They would glow up on these trips and have so many girls like just fawning over them. And then vice versa. The boy students would also love us, but like it just felt weird because they were like so young. By the time I did this, I think I was 22 turning 23. So they just felt really young. And we took them on all these trips and we befriended them for the semesters that they'd stay in Florence or in Rome. And yeah, I ended up staying forever until I just decided it was time to like come home and get a career job. But I ended up being able to say I traveled to 25 countries by 25. And I did have like, I would say 1 or 2 like little flings while I was living in Europe, actually with Americans, but when I have come back, they've been with Italians.
Get ready with me while I explain how my ex-best friend stole my dog. Okay, so boom, me and my best friend used to go way back, and when I say way back, I mean like childhood best friends. For the sake of this video, we're gonna call her Tulip. Okay, so this story takes place in 2023, which is the beginning of 7th grade. So me and Tulip were hanging out, normal best friend hangout, like nothing going weird. But every single time Tulip would come over, I'd always just kind of get like a weird vibe from her. And like weird vibe, I mean like when I'd go to the bathroom, I'd hear like my drawers opening and closing. But it's like me and her were really close, so like I really didn't think anything of it. Every single time I would like leave the room, I would notice like little things go missing, but it was like nothing that was like a big crazy deal. Like my favorite pair of earrings would go missing, my favorite necklace, a couple of my lip glosses. And it's like me and her were, ignore her TikTok. Me and her were like really close to the point where it's like, if she took my lip gloss, like, okay, use it, girl, I'll just buy another one, or I'll buy one for you. Like, you could have just asked. So later into this hangout, I decided, you know what, I'm going to test her. I know she had been talking about how she wanted my Sol de Janeiro. I think it was 62. I don't really remember the numbers. It was that really, like the golden yellow one that people would put sparkles in. It was that one. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to test her. She has to leave in like 20 minutes or whatever. So I'm just going to keep my Sol de Janeiro out. And I'm going to act like I need to go take out my dog really quick. So, shoot. Okay. So I just put it right on my dresser, right there. And I'm like, okay, Tulip, I'll be back. I have to take my dog out. She's like, oh, okay. Instead, I really went into the bathroom and I came back 5 minutes later. It's gone. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Like, maybe she used it, moved it to a different place. So then she's like, oh, I actually gotta leave early. Weren't you supposed to leave in like 15 minutes? Why is your parents here already? So it's whatever. It's the weekend. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to invite her over on Wednesday because we have an early release that day. And I'll see what happens there. Now, mind you, this girl, she has an obsession with my dog for no apparent reason. And my dog is like somewhat still a puppy. He's like a year old. So not too big of a dog, you know, but yeah, she has like an obsession with him. She has tons of photos with him. Whenever me and her were hanging out, she'd always be like, oh, can I go see your dog? Can you let your dog in here? And I'm like, no, it's too messy. She's like, no, it doesn't matter, it's okay. And she let him in anyways. And I'm like, girl. It was so weird. She'd even asked to walk my dog for me. And I'm like, okay. See, I wasn't complaining because I didn't want to walk my dog, but whatever. So boom, it gets to Wednesday and she comes over after school. We ride the bus together. Well, she like hops on my bus and then, you know, we ride the bus together. So we get to my house, we're chilling, we turn on some Netflix. I'm thinking, okay, she has to leave around like 7:30. So around 7, I'm gonna confront her. Around like 6:45, she's like, oh, I'm gonna go use the bathroom really quick. It might take me a hot second. Like, I low-key got a dookie. And I'm like, okay, like, you didn't have to tell me all that detail, but whatever. So I'm just still watching the Netflix show, if y'all know Never Have I Ever. All of a sudden, I have like a
what's it called, electric door lock on my front door. So it goes unlock. What you mean unlock? Tell me why I get up from my seat and I run to go to my parents' room because it's in the upstairs, like, front of the house, so I can see, like, where my front door is. Tell me why this girl outside with my dog. Cause girl, what? She get to booking down the street. And when I say booking, I mean full on, you say boat booking with my dog. When I tell you I run downstairs so fast, I grab my purse, I grab a fork, I start chasing this bitch. Mind you, my dog, still a puppy, thinks this is a game. So he's ahead of her. He's running because he's on a leash. And you know, dogs are faster than humans. So he running with her. I'm like, no, dog, come back here. I'm chasing this girl down. Tell me why. Tell me why this girl tries to cross the street, almost gets hit by a car. A Honda Civic. If you're going to get hit by a car with my dog, at least let it be a Ford F-150. At least let it be a big car. Okay, and mind you, this is 7th grade, so, like, I'm still a little immature, so when she fell with my dog, I low-key started bursting out laughing. I kind of stopped in my tracks and started laughing. Mind you, this was the dumbest decision I could have made, because why would I stop and laugh after she took off with my dog? My dog. So, in that time I was laughing, she got back up and got my dog. And then I didn't have, like, time to get to her after she got back up because the car that almost just hit her and my dog was in the way. So she's still running, and obviously, like, she kind of across the street from me, so it was kind of hard to get across the traffic in that one car. Thanks, car. So once I finally got across the street, I'm running, I'm screaming, I'm like, give me back my dog, bitch. And this girl would not stop. This puppy still thinks it's a game. I should have just let her have the dog at that point. Mind you, though, this girl, she was a little bit on the chubbier side. So she ran out of breath pretty quick, especially after that fall, girl. She used all her energy to get back up. I finally caught up to this girl, and when I told you, I went, ma, ma, ma. And then, guess what happened? The fudging dog ran away from both of us. Now we both chasing after the dog like it's a race. Girl, this is not your dog. Literally, like, if you wanted my dog, you could have just said that in the first place. Maybe I would have let you babysit him or something. Or dog sit. At this point, we're like, what, five-ish minutes into the race for my dog. So my parents done seen what happened on the Ring camera. They got notified. And they hopped in their car. They started speeding towards us. So my parents kind of catch up to us. And they finally catch the dog, bro, because they actually, like, the dog actually listens to my parents, you know, like alpha type stuff. So yeah, they start screaming at Tula, because why are you trying to take our dog, bro? That's so weird, bro. So yeah, they screaming at Tula. They like, hey, get in this freaking car, bro. You ain't finna take our dog. We taking you back to your house. She lives like a good 5 minutes away, so it's only like a 20-minute walk. So she low-key could have got my dog over there, but she didn't, so joke's on her. Oh my god, I just fucked up this raid. So yeah, we got her in the car, we took her to her parents. Everybody screaming at Tulip, even her parents. I don't know why she thought her parents were gonna defend her on this, let her take my dog. Mind you, the dog is with us in her house. Like, bro, we could have at least taken the dog back, but nope, we just had to take the dog there. Like, she could have just snatched him again. But yeah, that's basically the end of the story. My parents don't let me hang out with her anymore, which is very freaking valid. Like, I wouldn't, that's just insane, bro. Moral of the story, don't take your friend's dog, guys. That's the stupidest thing you could ever do. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Thanks. Love you.
Women don't lower their standards. They're going to end up all alone in their giant houses that they share with their best friends that are filled with cats and books and wine and support and love and good food.
Hey guys, I'm gonna do a quick story time of why I'm no longer going to my waxer no more. So the most recent situation that happened yesterday, so that's the part I'm gonna talk about, and then in part 2 I'm gonna talk about the previous experiences that I've had with her. So yesterday, and I'm gonna insert the screenshots of our messages and everything. So yesterday I was supposed to have my appointment with her at 11 a.m. Cool. But she texted me on Friday night and was like, hey, she sent me at like 7 something, was like, hey, can you come in at 11 and stay? I was like, okay, cool. So I get to the building where she's located at. I go in. I get there at 10:57 so I can have enough time to go to the bathroom first. So I get there, I go to the bathroom, I come back, I sit down. It's like 11 o'clock. So I was like, okay, she should be here. So maybe she's just in the room, but the door was shut. So I get ready to go in there, but I knocked on the door first in case she was already in there working with another person. And I get ready to knock on the door, and the lady who's at the end of the hall in her suite doing somebody's hair was like, hey, she's not in yet for the day. I was like, okay, it's 11 o'clock. So I go back and I sit down in the little waiting area that they have, like, when you come down the stairs. And so I'm sitting there. It's now 11:15. It's now 11:12. I'm like, what's going on? So the next time I'm like, hey, I've been here for over 15 minutes. Are you still on your way? No response back. So now it's like 11:30. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave. So I go to my car and I get in my car, and before I leave, I'm like, no, I'm gonna change my car information, because if I leave and she still tries to charge me because she wants to say I no call or show and still take the money off my card, that's not happening. So I go to my car, I change the car information, and as soon as I start my car up and I'm ready to pull out the parking lot, she pulls in the parking lot. So I see her get out of the car and she's walking fast. Like, I see her get out and I'm like grabbing my stuff so I can hurry up and get out. But by the time I get out the car and walk to the door, she already went in the door, walked down the stairs. And so another lady was there. I saw her when she came in, but I didn't know what suite she was going in, because the building has a lot of suites that people operate and stuff. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's there for somebody else. So my waxer walks in her suite, and the other girl walks in, and then she shuts the door. No, I bust in the door. No, ma'am. It's 11:30. You told me you was gonna be here to wax me at 11. So no way you about to relax this other lady before me. So the other girl, she was real sweet. She was like, oh yeah, you were here. Okay, that's fine. And then so my waxer was like, oh yeah, I think you were here first, like trying to play like she didn't know. So we get in the room and she was like, was that you sitting in your car? I was like, yeah, because I was gonna leave. She was like, you were about to leave? I said, yes, because you were supposed to be here at wax me at 11 a.m. It's now 11:30. I text you, you did not respond back. I text you when it was 15 minutes past. Now, if I would have came 15 minutes late, you would have charged me a late fee, or you would have canceled my appointment, still charged me for the amount of the service, and blocked me from booking on your website again. But you're 30 minutes late, and that's just okay. So she comes in, mind you, she's late, so none of her wax is hot. So she puts me on the table, gets me situated, she turns on her machines. The wax is not hot enough, so when she puts it on there, it's not coming off when she rips it off. So she's reapplying new wax on top of the old wax to try to rip it off, and it's hurting. So I'm like, hey, it's not feeling comfortable. Like, so she turns the wax dial up to try to cut down on the time of how long it would take for the wax to fully melt. So when she dips the second stick in there, it's too high. So now it burns me when she puts it on my intimate area. So I tell her, I'm like, hey, it's hot. She's like, oh, okay. So and mind you, she's putting it right on the lip. At the moment, she's on the left lip. It's too hot. So I tell her, and she sees me, like, she can feel that I flinched because it was hot. So I'm like, hey, it's too hot. So then she gets her second stick and she dips it and she puts another stick. She goes in with another strip and puts it on the right side. Again, it's still too hot because you didn't do anything to change it. You put it in front of the fan for 3 seconds, but it's still too hot. And I can tell that you dipped it from the bottom of the pot, because when you've been dipping it from the top, it wasn't that hot. It was actually too cold. So we get done, we get off the table. I'm like, okay. So she doesn't take any money off the service. She never fully apologized for being late. She was just like, oh, it's been a busy morning. I was just like, I've been going to her since November of 2024. That's when I first started going to her, right before I was about to go out of town. My first time ever getting a wax. We always been cool. Relationship always been good. So, and then things just started switching up and started going left real fast. But I just said, okay. But today was the final straw. And then, here's the icing on the cake. So the wax is too hot. I expressed that to her. So I'm in the shower today and I'm washing, washing that area, and my skin is on the cloth. I use white washcloths for everything, so I can see the skin on the cloth. I'm like, my skin? Yes, my skin is rubbing off because the area had a burn on it from it being too hot, and now it's rubbing off while I'm washing my area. Yeah, so that frustrated me even more because I was already irritated yesterday because I just felt like that was super unprofessional of her, and the fact that she tried to play it like that and did not apologize really upset me. But today, that just was the icing on the cake. But come back for part 2 because this video is a little long, so come back for part 2 so I can show y'all the rest of the stuff, and I'm going to insert screenshots too.
You want to know why I don't want to move to New York? I think that's all I have to say.
Okay, hey y'all, so here's part 2 of why I'm no longer going to my wax there. Okay, this is part 2, but please go watch part 1 so that y'all can be caught up of why I'm no longer going to her, so that you all won't be confused, because this is just part 2, so please go watch part 1 first and then come back and watch this video. And I'm actually glad that I decided to wait a couple hours to film part 2 and to post it, because she actually has texted me since then. So I'm gonna insert a screenshot right here of what she texted me. Okay, so in the text it says that she was late because it was her first day back waxing because she lost a brother. Now, at the appointment, she did tell me that it was her first day back, but I do not recall her saying that it was because she was back from a loss in the family. I'm just assuming, because I know she travels, that it was her first day back from a vacation. Again, I understand all of that. I'm very understanding. I'm very considerate. That's, you know, a traumatizing experience to go through, to lose a sibling. So I would have completely understood all of that. All I'm asking or saying is a little bit of communication would have been appropriate for the situation, because you were 30 minutes late and you knew that when you left your house or wherever you were coming from that you were already late. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm also going to insert another screenshot of the first time that I booked with her. I booked with her for the first time in November of 2023. That was my first time ever getting waxed. I was about to go out of the country to Honduras. And I knew I wanted to start waxing, so I'm like, this will be the perfect time. So I actually found her on Groupon because I didn't really know where to start looking at places, and I had heard bad experiences like about Hello Sugar and European waxing, so I'm like, let me try to find some places. So I googled wax places and Groupon popped up. So I looked on Groupon, I found her, I saw she was having a deal, so I booked with her. And I'll insert all of that. Since then, I've gone to her, like I said in the first part, I've been going to her every 3 weeks consistently. Because as I stated in the first part, she has it where if you come every 3 weeks, it's 35. If it's 4 weeks or longer, it's 60. Now, I'm also going to insert more screenshots of our texts, because every time I've already have an appointment booked with her, she texts me, asks me, can I come at a later time, a different day. And one particular time, I'm gonna talk about this because this was, and I'm making this video not to, you know, do harm to her business or to bring down her clientele. This is just my experience that I have with her. She is a great waxer. She's great at her craft. She's quick. I feel comfortable on the table with her. With this experience that I talked about in part 1 and the other things that I've experienced with her, it's just, there were just too many chances that I gave. So one time I was scheduled with her and I had already, mind you, her suite is in Overland Park. I live in the inner city of Kansas City, so it takes me a nice little minute to get there, probably about 25 minutes. I had an appointment with her. She texted me when I was already outside her building parked, hey, can you come tomorrow? I was just like, okay, fine. It don't matter that I'm already here. I can run some other errands while I'm already out here. So I didn't trip off of it. So I said, okay, fine. So we rescheduled for the next day. The next day comes and she texts me maybe 20 minutes before the appointment and was like, hey, I'm running late. I'm backed up today. Can you come tomorrow? I said, okay, cool. I texted her though and I said, hey, on Monday, I was already at your salon when you text me, and when you text me yesterday, or when you text me today, I was already on my way there. So if you're going to reschedule me tomorrow, can you let me know in advance, because this is now 2 times where I've already been there or am in the process of getting to your suite and you've rescheduled on me. When she responded back, she was very professional about it. She would let me know, yes, I'm sorry, I understand, I apologize for that. The next day came, the service went good, fine, no problems. I just feel like she's a great waxer. She's great at her craft. I just feel like she needs to be more professional and give more of a courtesy to her customers. Because I feel like she could go really far with her craft, but I just feel like she's lacking that professionalism. So, but other than that, that was my experience. I hope I don't deter anybody from not wanting to go and get waxes, because there are a lot of amazing waxers out there who are great at their craft. This was just my experience, so hopefully I don't scare anybody too much, but this is part 2. So